Hi guys, this is Vidya. I hope you guys are all hanging in there wherever you are through this really stressful time that we're all in. It has been a long time since I spoke with you guys, so I thought I'd sit down and chat with you. I filmed a couple of videos a long while ago before all of this madness started and Vikrant was still going to school. But I felt like they were not relevant right now, so before I upload those I wanted to talk to you guys. So we have been in isolation for the last more than a month and officially on lockdown since about 2 weeks. So things are going a little bit everything has gone silent, and the stores were initially completely empty of all the essentials, and now things are getting back in stock. So there's always a kind of uncertainty going on in the whole area, and I think it's the same for every part of the world pretty much. Some places are more intense than others, but everyone is in the stress together. So I thought I'll sit down and chat with you guys about what we've been doing during this isolation period and how we're kind of getting through it. So with Vikrant not going to school and my husband working from home, my videos have been completely put on hold. And Vikrant, it's very hard to film with Vikrant. Like, a lot of times he'll ask me to stop recording. Sometimes he'll let me record, but most of the times he'll ask me to turn the camera off, and I want to respect that. Our days are pretty much unstructured, like completely unstructured, except for the essentials, like just waking up, eating food and bathing and those things, and taking a nap. Those things have certain times, but apart from that, Vikrant's playtime is totally him, directed by him. So he will pick up what he wants to. Being unstructured doesn't mean that he does nothing all day. It just means that he is free to choose what he wants. Like, I don't have a schedule for him, and the fact that he is so young helps in that regard. Like, because he's just 3 years old, 3.5, it's there's nothing too much riding on this period. Like, he doesn't have exams to write and stuff. Like, most of your kids are pretty young as well. The fact that they're missing out on school is not such a big deal, and there are other skills they could learn during this time, and we don't have to be a replacement for school. We don't have to do the exact same things that they do in school, right? So mostly Vikrant does a lot of free play, and he is at that age where he will play independently for a little bit before coming to me and asking me to join him. So if your child is used to playing with open-ended toys and they're used to coming up with new ideas to play with, they will kind of engage themselves during times like these where we can't go out and buy new toys or new books every single day. So Vikrant has just been doing his usual stuff, and apart from that, there's only a few things that we've been doing differently. One big thing that we've increased recently is doing a lot of physical play indoors. Like, Vikrant has always been active, I think, like most kids his age, and that part we are missing out, like going to parks and stuff. So we have been trying to encourage, like, let him do all his physical activities at home. Like, he'll jump around. Like, these sofas are constantly being jumped on, even before, but more so now. If I don't get that movement out of the way during the day, he gets very restless at night, and that pent-up energy usually results in a meltdown or a tantrum or something. So getting physical during the first part of the day definitely helps. Other than that, we've also been doing a lot of household work. So he's been helping me with cooking and cleaning and doing things around the house, like doing the laundry, unloading the dishwasher, things like that. And by helping, I mean he is trying to contribute, because when he helps me, it takes twice as long, and there's always twice as much mess to clean up after that. But because we're not on a tight schedule, because we don't have to go somewhere at a certain time, we can afford to kind of spend this time to let them learn what they want to learn. Firstly, they learn a lot of practical life skills. They use their fine motor skills to pour and turn and wipe, and their hands and fingers get stronger, so that way it is helpful. And secondly, they also feel like they're contributing something to the family. They're playing a role, they're taking a part, right? So when they drop something on the floor and make a mess, they realize that someone's going to clean it up. Otherwise, it's dangerous for us. Any of us might slip and fall. So that kind of being a team player. Those things are also very important, and these things are not taught when our normal schedule is happening and we are rushing from one activity to another, to school, to go out. So this is a time where I felt like I could invest more in these kind of things. So I will start cooking 1 hour before I need to, and he will kind of help out. He'll wash something or cut something with a child safe knife, and he'll peel the fruits, or he loves baking, so he loves to be involved in that. And another advantage of cooking with kids is that when the finished product is ready, they get to eat it, so they'll be less picky because they have contributed to it and now they can taste it and stuff. So there's a lot of advantages to cooking with kids. It may seem very silly and not so important, but I feel like it's one very developmental activity we can do with kids. Similarly, I also have him clean his stuff. He loves using a spray bottle and he feels like he's accomplishing something, so that's one thing I let him do. Sometimes he'll wash his stuffed animals or cars, and it's good in two ways, because one, he's cleaning stuff, so that's good, and he's being engaged, so he'll spend at least a good half an hour to 1 hour when I give him some water and a sponge and some soap, so that is good. Also spending more time in the bath. Like, he used to always take at least half an hour to do his bath, but now it's been extended because what's the rush. And he can bring all his toys, he can bring some paints, even he can do whatever he wants in there. The mess is contained, and the steam from the hot water is also good for him. Like, if there's any congestion, it'll help it get cleared. Like, here it's very dry, our heater is constantly on and the weather is very dry. Getting into nature is very important for children, but when we can't, we have to try our best to kind of incorporate nature in some way into our daily lives. Sometimes we'll sit and observe the sky, the night sky, and see if we can find and spot any planets or look for the moon. And sometimes we'll grow things like simple fenugreek seeds or mung seeds, which are very easy to grow indoors, and they are a great learning experience, right? They get to see them sprout and grow and make observations. He has a little notebook in which he'll draw, like he'll scribble whatever he wants. When it comes to homeschooling or doing learning activities with him, I don't stress on it too much because he's so young and there's so many resources available, because suddenly everyone is homeschooling. And I think homeschooling parents or homeschooling moms are having their moment now, because everyone suddenly respects them so much. We now know how hard it is to homeschool, right? And they've been so amazing, giving out their resources for free. There's so many Instagram pages that have simple activities that we could do at home. So I'll pick 1 or 2 activities and I'll do them with him, not more than that, mainly because if I pick an elaborate activity and I do a lot of preparations, and if he's not into it and if he just tosses it to the side and does something else, I get disappointed and I start worrying about why he's not so involved in it, and I don't need that kind of anxiety in my life right now. He loves doing experiments, so we've been coming up with simple science experiments that are fun for him, like water displacement, evaporation, condensation, making simple clouds at home. I'll do another video on simple, like really simple science experiments that introduce science to toddlers and preschoolers. These are things that we're doing in addition to what he normally does, like playing with his blocks and coloring and painting and just building things and all kinds of imaginative play. And luckily I had ordered some books because I knew we won't be going to the library much, so I returned all the library books and I ordered some before all of this went down, and that has helped a lot in saving some of our sanity. And as far as how he is feeling about all of this isolation thing, he is in good spirits for the most part. Like, he's very happy that his dad is home and he gets to play with him whenever he wants. But sometimes he'll ask me when we can go to the park or to the library or to a museum, but he is generally fine. Like, I think kids are very resilient, even though he is missing out on all the social activities with kids his age. That's one thing I worry about him, because we live by ourselves, right? So there's no interaction with other kids for these few months, but I'm sure he'll bounce back whenever things normalize. I think it's harder for us as parents to read all that news and get all anxious and not show it to our kids. So one thing I've been doing is just staying away from news for the entire day, and only after he goes to bed I'll take my phone out and get updated throughout the day. If there's something urgent, my husband will let me know, and that's how we've been keeping ourselves occupied through these strange times, and I'm sure we'll get out of this. And I can't tell you guys anything that you don't already know. I will add this though, because we have such young children and they are constantly feeding off our anxiety. They are learning so much about how we react to these uncertain times. Like they are learning habits like good cleaning habits, washing hands and being hygienic, all of that stuff. But perhaps even more importantly, they are learning how we react to uncertain times. I think it's okay to show our children what we are feeling. Like we are also human, so I think it's okay for them to see that we also get anxious sometimes, we also get worried. But in times like these, like where they don't understand what's going on, like even if you try to explain what a virus is to a child, they will either not understand it completely and get all confused, or they'll be overly scared about it, and in future they'll turn into germaphobes or be really scared about things like this. So without doing too much of that, it's important for us to kind of stay balanced as much as we can, at least for the sake of our young children. So I hope we can try and be a little more patient with our children, and I'll see you in one of my next videos. Until then, take care. Bye.